high noon, the sky turns black. The birds fall silent. You look up, and there is a second moon hanging in the void. The end of the world doesn't begin with an explosion. It begins with a feeling, a primal biological wrongness in the air. It starts with the instinctual silence of nature, sensing a predator too large to comprehend. Then, the sound arrives, a deep rumble of tectonic plates groaning under a gravitational stress that shouldn't exist, vibrating through the soles of your feet, as the oceans recoil from the shoreline, only to surge back in mountains of water, and the terrified world plunges into an eternal twilight. The truth settles in. We haven't just been hit. We are being evicted. For centuries, we believed the solar system was a clockwork mechanism, stable, predictable, and safe. We were wrong. Space is a chaotic billiard table, and Earth is merely one ball among many. Astronomers call them rogue planets, nomad worlds ejected from their own star systems, doomed to wander the interstellar void in darkness. There are billions of them in the Milky Way alone, invisible cosmic ghosts until they are right on top of us. When one of these wanderers enters our neighborhood, it acts as a massive gravitational wrecking ball. The first phase is the Great Unraveling. As the rogue planet swings by, its mass tugs at Earth's crust. Supervolcanoes roar to life, choking the stratosphere with ash. Fault lines unzip across continents. But the true catastrophe is orbital. The rogue planet's momentum acts as a gravitational slingshot. In a cosmic exchange of energy, Earth is ripped from the sun's embrace. We are cast adrift, a spaceship with no pilot, hurtling into the freezing void of deep space. The panic of the ejection lasts only a few weeks. What follows is the long night. As Earth hurtles away from the sun at thousands of miles per hour, the primary source of heat that has nurtured life for 4 billion years begins to fade. The sun becomes smaller, dimmer, retreating into the distance like a taillight on a lonely highway. Within 21 days, the global temperature drops below zero. This is not an ice age. It is a flash freeze. The tropical rainforests, the lungs of the world, are the first to die. The moisture inside massive trees expands and shatters the wood with the sound of millions of gunshots. Civilization fights back for a brief moment, huddled in bunkers, burning the last of our fossil fuels. But the battle is lost before it begins. Steel transmission towers become brittle and snap in the contracting cold. The power grids fail. The concrete canyons of our metropolises are no longer habitats. They are icy tombs, preserving the last moments of a panic that has now gone silent. The oceans, the planet's great heat batteries, fight a losing battle against the encroaching dark. Sea ice expands from the poles, moving at the speed of a slow train, meeting at the equator within months. The surface of the ocean freezes into a crust of ice 3 miles thick. This isn't just a layer of frost, it is a planetary lid. Massive cargo ships are crushed like aluminum cans by the pressure of the expanding ice. Islands are swallowed whole. Beneath the surface, the dark water remains liquid for eons, insulated by the ice above, but the surface world is gone. The roar of the waves, a sound that has defined Earth since its birth, is finally silenced. The blue planet is turned white. One year into the journey, the surface temperature approaches -200 degrees Celsius. we have reached a point where physics begins to behave in ways that seem impossible. The atmosphere itself surrenders. It begins to snow, but this is not water vapor. It is carbon dioxide. Dry ice flakes drift down, burying the ruins of our achievements in a blanket of frozen gas. As the temperature plummets further toward absolute zero, the nitrogen and oxygen, the very air we breathe, condense. It begins to rain liquid air. The atmosphere collapses, falling to the ground and forming shallow, shimmering oceans of liquid nitrogen. The sky, once a protective blue dome, is now perfectly clear and perfectly deadly, exposing the surface to the raw radiation of the void. And with the air frozen on the ground, sound itself dies. A skyscraper could collapse in Tokyo, and it would make no noise. The scream of the dying planet is silenced by the vacuum. Long after the last human has vanished and the surface has become a frozen wasteland, Earth is still not dead. It is merely dormant. Deep beneath the crushing weight of the global ice sheet, huddled around hydrothermal vents, a faint glow persists. Here, in the crushing dark, exotic ecosystems thrive. Giant tube worms, ghostly white crabs, and resilient bacteria live their lives entirely indifferent to the sun's disappearance. They do not know the sky has fallen. They do not know that humanity has risen and fallen. They live off the heat of the planet itself. This is the ultimate resilience of life. When the favorable conditions are stripped away, life retreats to the nursery where it began billions of years ago. It waits. Decades turn into centuries. Millennia pass in the dark. On the surface, time has effectively stopped. Without wind, rain, or oxidation to erode them, our monuments will last longer than the stars themselves. The pyramids of Giza, the Statue of Liberty, the empty shells of our greatest cities, they are perfectly preserved in the vacuum. We leave a pristine archaeological record for a universe that may never see it. This is the world after us, a silent, wandering museum. Perhaps in a billion years, our planet will be captured by the gravity of a new star. The ice will melt. The atmosphere will rise again to form a new sky. The microbes in the deep ocean might evolve once more, crawling onto a new shore under a strange new sun, walking over the fossilized remains of a civilization they will never know existed. The story of the rogue planet is a terrifying meditation on our true place in the cosmos. We build our borders and our economies, acting as if we are the masters of this world. But we are not the landlords. We are merely tenants. We exist by the grace of a specific, fragile set of conditions, a perfect distance from a stable star. If the universe decides to evict us, nature will not mourn. The earth is rock, iron, and ice. It can survive the cold, the dark, and the void. It is we who are fragile. And in the face of the long night, the only thing that remains is the silent, stubborn endurance of life, waiting in the dark for the next dawn.